All right. So thank you for tuning in. I am Queen 2 Wavy here on Tag live stream. And so I'm going to talk about men dating. Not just dating, but dining. Not just dining. Fine dining. And then we're going to talk about some of the barriers as well. All right, like to hear a story? Here it goes. Once upon a time, I went into a live stream, and there they were, men speaking about, taking women out on a date, and the sometimes the prices are expensive, okay? Which should be okay, right? Now, I want to deliver you from the idea, which is a very kind of slumlord thinking, but that's okay. We're going to come out of it. Well, what do I get? This is a dinner, but I want to take you to your root. When it comes to taking a woman out to a nice place and dinner, if it's something that you haven't done before, I would like to give you some homework to do, young man. Start with your mom, okay? You need to experience going out to a nice, expensive place, sitting across from the woman who has given birth to you, okay? Sitting across from the womb that brought you into the world. I want you to call your mom and I want you to tell her that you're going to take her out on a not a father son, but a mother son date, and you want her to look really nice. You want her hair to look really nice. You want her to dress up. Some of the issues that men may have is that they may not have seen their mother be treated very well by their father or any man at all for that matter. And so this is going to level you up, okay? And it's also going to level your mom up if that's not something that she's been accustomed to. She's also not only going to get this from you, but she's going to respect you. Those of you who are men who have been the family shame, this is your time to redeem yourself. I promise you, your mother will talk about you to the town, her girlfriends, and whoever will listen. She's going to tell everybody at church. She's going to tell everybody in the grocery store that what her son has done for her. Okay? So tell her to, dress up, because what you're doing here, and I'm going to put my little microphone down now because we're into it. You're sculpting mom to begin to learn how to accept this type of behavior. Perhaps she may be single. So now this is the type of woman that she's going to be, because you're giving her this experience, even though you're not the father or date. But going forward, I feel rather sometimes that sometimes men are not accustomed to or accepting of women who think highly of themselves and have high expectations, because that's not something that they're used to, just by way of not seeing their mother do that. It's almost like, if ain't nobody did that for my mom, I'm not going to do that for you. So let's get this out of the way. If your mom is not alive, take your aunt. If your aunt is not alive, take your sister. But it has to be somebody from your mama's line, because you need to be across from your mother's womb as this is going on. Does this make sense, everybody? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. Next step, you're going to go and you're going to get mom. You're going to practice chivalry and open the door for her, right? Because this is the same way that you will treat a woman that you go out onto a date with. Opening doors and all of that. You see how during your journey, you don't have a chivalry is dead type of mindset? Now, we're at dinner, okay? She should be able to order whatever she wants. She should be able to order whatever she wants on the menu. Should your mother say something to the effect of, "Oh, this is expensive. I don't know if, I can get this," or, you make sure you tell her, you get whatever you want. Tell her she's a queen. She looks beautiful. All right. You are shaping her reforming her mind at this time, and telling her that she can get whatever she wants. All right. And if, like I said, if she does bring up the fact that it's too expensive, you tell her nothing's too expensive for you, because you are a queen. Now, during this, you'll notice how you don't have a mind frame of, oh, that's the sleep with you side of the menu. You see how you don't want a man to sit across from your mother and have a belief in his heart that based upon what she orders, he should be able to have sex with her? So then you can take that same mind frame into a date when you're going into a woman, because now you understand, all right, that you're sitting across from either somebody's mother or somebody's daughter. And so during the dinner with your mother, what you should be doing is getting to know her, right? Okay? Starts at home. Ask her about herself, how things led up to such and such. It doesn't have to be anything that brings up dark past, but make her laugh, make her feel comfortable, make her feel good. And this is good exercise for you, because you're building yourself up to be able to take these same attributes and characteristics into when you're dating. And so when you're dating, you're not sitting there talking about or thinking, well, the lobster side, that's the sleep with me side. And you're going to realize, if ever you did think that way, how low you were thinking in the past. You're going to realize how scummy it is. Okay? When you're sitting across a woman and that's somebody's mom and that's somebody's daughter, and then you're going to switch that up with valuing the time with her. Okay? I believe some of you all have to do this with your mom first, so you can have a really good grasp and understanding. Okay? And so when this is over, the next day, you're going to feel good about yourself. When you're driving to work, the entire evening will be going on in your mind. Like, wow, mom was really looking good last night. Her skin was glowing. I had her laughing, and then you could send her a good morning text. I'm glad you had fun last night. You know what I mean? She's going to start thinking about this while she is gathering up the courage to go out and start dating again herself. All right? So now you have set the precedence for mom and how she is to be treated, because can't nobody do her less than her son. You know what I mean? He gonna have anybody talk to your mom, but he gonna have to king up. He can't just be anything, because her son has set the standard. Now, you as a man, like I said, as you're driving to work, you're gonna be thinking about the money that you spent. It's like, man, I spent a lot of money last night on that meal. So then what happens to the mind? You think about the money that you spent, but you also think about the good time that you had. And then you want to do it again. You want to be able to do that again for that person, So it's like, then the man's mind goes, how do I start doing that more and be able to afford it? What do I need to do to up my money? Do you need to get promoted? Do you need to take on a business? You see how you're elevating? This is what women do. That's why we're called helpmeets. Just being around us makes you want to make more money. You see what I'm saying? And so now you want to keep that momentum going with mom. So instead of you being the regular worker bee with no purpose in life, that just goes and comes to work every day and kicks your shoes off and takes a shower and gets into bed, you have something to look forward to. Okay, here, you know what I'm saying? It's like them dolls with the wine in the backseat. Now you cranking out. We cranking you up now. The man is coming out. The provider is coming out now. Okay, the gentleman. All right, cranking you up. King's son is coming out. The husband is coming out now. So now you want to do what you gotta do. Now all of a sudden you have the gusto to get up and do what needs to be done. Whereas prior, you might have been tired just from thinking about what needs to be done. Now you have it in you because you have that experience that is pushing you forward. This is just an example that I'm using, but overall, I really want you all to take in this homework. Start with your mom, and then when you come into the dating realm, your mind will be right. I was so sad to hear those men actually believing that a woman is supposed to sleep with them over a steak. Now, I'm going to get on to the women. Always take yourself out to nice places. 5-star, man. 5 star. And let me tell you, people, when you take yourself out to these nice and extravagant places, you don't always have to order the big thing when you go out by yourself. You can get yourself appetizer, water. The menu isn't as scary as it seems to be from the outside. That's for people on the outside looking in. You need to be the person on the inside. And you need to dress up, okay? And look like you belong there. All right? You need to go to places with a dress code. Some of you women are picking up men that are not in your best of favor because of the places that you frequent. You need to go to places where men who are not of standard can't even get into. The restaurants that I go to, you have to have reservations, and there's a dress code. So I don't have to worry about JJ walking in there smelling like dank. They're not around. The places you go to, historical places, the museums. Okay? The opera. Switch it up. You're going to, and I love NBA Youngboy, but can you look in the crowd and see what you might come up with, as opposed to maybe going to go see an orchestra or a Broadway show, something like that. Yeah, try some different things. You might find some different things traveling out to Switzerland than you would find on the Carnival cruise. No offense to the Carnival cruise, but there's a difference. Sometimes you go places and you're just going to come up with that. Lounges, brunches, where there's a lot of common, I would say, common folk, you're going to come up with some common results. So try to go to upscale places, okay? And take yourself there. That way, when a man approaches you and he would like to take you somewhere nice, you don't feel like you have to give up the draws for a meal. Sister, don't ever do that. Okay? Not for a meal, ma'am. Not for a meal, not even for a pocketbook. These Birkin bags, I don't know if they're still in style, but you need to learn how to appreciate yourself more than removing your clothing and pulling back sheets to flat back for a pocketbook, okay? Or vacation, okay? Normalize that for yourself. The ones that do that, they are targeting poverty females, women that, probably come from poor circumstances that would naively appreciate that. You know what I mean? They're not. There's a certain kind, and you can see them. They're not going to go to Bill Gates' daughter and believe that a pocketbook or something like that is going to grant them sexual favors. So they know, they know the difference. And you need to carry yourself as Bill Gates' daughter, especially if you're the daughter of the king. Okay? If Jesus Christ is king and you believe in God, why are you doing this to yourself? They're not your only hope. They're not your only way to get that. Yeah, and that's when you create a person into God, and then you start performing acts and idolizing that. A pocketbook, for Christ's sake. Anytime I hear somebody say, but I got the bag, you just really don't know how tacky you sound. But that stops today. If you've done it in the past, don't worry about it. Just keep wearing your bag. Don't tell nobody how you got it, and move on like nothing happened. But please, Jesus, don't do that again. All right? We do things with people because we actually like them and want to. It's not transactional, like, a prostitute or something. Okay? Men, you can prevent this by doing these things for your daughter and the females in your family, your nieces. Okay? Your nieces, your cousins, your daughters. They should be accustomed to traveling to nice places. They should be accustomed to receiving purses, giving days at the spa, stuff like that, so that a man cannot come along and use that to get her into bed. and degrade her, shame her, fill her up with children or worse, sexual diseases and nightmares eventually. That is a lot of the problem here that I see on Tagged when I'm looking at people that are in a dark stream. They're really sitting in there with the ghosts of their past mistakes. You know what I mean? They can't stand to be by themselves and with their thoughts. And things have happened. Okay? Stuff like that. Daryl says, hi Daryl. Did you have a question? Did anybody have a question, comment that you would like to add? Hello. Anybody have a question, comment? Mothers with your sons, respect your son. Okay? Do not talk to your son like a boy when he's becoming a man, because you don't want him to get used to a woman talking to him like that. He needs to have received respect from the nest. So he's not going to tolerate that from anyone when he goes out into the world. And he needs to see his mother in a respectable light so he knows the difference. He needs to see that his mother doesn't go for games. And so he would be attracted to a female that doesn't go for games instead of becoming a predator. Women don't realize this, but when you keep allowing men to mess over you and you have a son, he can see that. Dear God, don't let a man hit you in front of your child, or your child knows that you're being beaten. He can eventually grow up to imitate that behavior towards other women and become upset with other women, calling them bitches, because he's seen his mama be called a bitch. And although your son loves you very much, he has a disdain for you for accepting that behavior. Okay? So, do not tolerate physical or mental abuse from any man, especially in front of your son. It counts. It's documented into their subconscious. These men that you hear out here loosely using the term bitch, and some of them even try to coach women into accepting it by acting as if it is by endearment or a joke. I was just playing, man, you take it too serious. Like, what would even make you think that that's okay to say? It's their first language. So natural. Where did you get that from? Home. Mama probably says it, and mama is called it. And it's a shame. We can't stop them. They're already grown. They're in their 30s. They're over 20-something. But start with your own child, your son. Don't let no man call you no bitch, because your son is going to pick that up. I mean, they are out here saying it like nothing. It's meaningless. They are just really hollow. Thank you for my love bear, Daryl. As to that. And that, a lot of the times, is why. When you send your son or daughter out into the world sees the parent a lot of the times. I know sometimes children get wayward and things like that. But when I hear a man just loosely use the term bitch, I'm looking at his mother and I'm seeing her getting slapped. I'm seeing her getting neglected. I'm seeing her in poverty. I'm seeing her working countless hours and being disrespected in front of him. All of those words that I just named developed. See, when they see this, they don't see a queen. Everything look like mama, and mama is bitch. When you put that all together, that's just the head. He see woman, that's just what it is. And especially if you're sleeping around and you got man after man after man coming around and your son sees that. Can't do that, man. We gotta tighten up. All right? Thank you so much, Daryl. All right, it starts with the moms. Starts with the moms. All right, dads, we already got on you. Take your daughters out and don't respect their mom. Don't disrespect their mothers. You cannot have private text messages and phone calls with the mother of your child, especially if you have a son, sitting there calling her a bitch. And then you feel as though there's a disconnect from that and your child's relationship. Mind you, you have a son with this woman. Imagine if somebody calls your mama a bitch. The son that you have that is young, when he becomes of age, probably about 16, he is old enough and strong enough to knock your ass out for calling his mother that. So knock it off. You don't know him until you call his mama the B word. Okay? You keep it up, you're going to see a grown man. And he's going to treat you, dare I say, like a nigga on the street. Okay? All the pictures and all of you parading him around, talking about oh, I got to pick my son up today. I'm keeping up with these responsibilities. But then you calling his mama a bitch, that don't go. You're not going to be, I don't know about you, but for me, you're not going to talk about my mom a certain way and then try to come and be nice to me and uplift me. That's my mother. Do you understand? So don't do that. Women, don't talk about your child's father like he is nothing in front of the children or around them at all. I don't care if he is trash. I don't care if he is trash. You're just reinforcing that you decided to make a permanent decision with trash. You know, I made some bad decisions in my life. People may say, you know, if you get someone's tattoo on your name, tattoo their name on your body, that's foolish. I've done it. But you know what? I can get a tattoo and cover it up. You know what you can't cover up? A permanent baby. You can't cover that up. You can't go into the shop and cover that up. So who's the fool? Okay? You made a permanent decision. I don't want to say mistake because children are not mistakes. But you made a permanent decision and you need to respect that person and probably limit communication to just cordial and getting things done. If there is a wind in between, a wedge between you two. And I've never dealt with this, and I'm going to tell you all something that's a little strange for me. Sometimes when women are no longer with the father, oftentimes when women are not with the father, they get upset and they would try to withhold connection between the father and all of that because he has moved on and he moved on with the person that you cheated with, and it's just a trifling mess and you feel bad about it, sister. Sister, you need to let go. What you need to let go is the idea that he was the end all be all. You can do better. Just because you have kids and all of that doesn't mean that you're not fit to go out and get another man, marry, and have a good life. You can't keep holding on to him. Let him go. Let him go and have a cordial respect for one another and let him have his visitation rights to see his child. Somebody needs to hear it. You need to let him see his child. If he is reaching out to see his child, let him see his child. Some men, when they are no longer with the mother, they no longer put in the effort to see the child. They no longer have a relationship with the child. It's a reverse. It is a reverse. They literally don't want to see the child. And they will use the excuse that men do who are being withheld from their child due to the mother. So when they go out and they're talking to their friends and family and other women about why they don't see their child, they tell them that the mother won't let them see the child. But it's really that they don't see the child based upon not being with the mother. Women, you need to be careful of those kinds of men. when you're asking, you're not seeing no recent pictures of them with their child. It might not be that she's withholding the child. It may be that she moved on and he doesn't like it. Some men don't like for you to supersede them because they believe that the separation from them would have been a threat to your life. And if that has not happened and instead you've thrived, they're upset. They don't like it. They wanted you to be, the baby mama that does bad without them. But instead, you done got married, bought a house, moved on, doing good. Your jobs are great. You got more degrees than anything. Your money's up. And you just like totally past them. He can never keep up. And because of that, he may feel like not seeing the child punishes you. But that's okay. You don't need to reach out to him and bombard him because you don't need to put a force of relationship on your child. You don't have to force nobody to see your child. If you don't want to be there, so be it. You move on. You remarry. You live great. Bada boom, bada bang. Crisscross applesauce. So let it be written, so let it be done. Oh, where's my scepter? So let it be written, so let it be done. It's all right. Okay? Nobody is the end all be all. Stop standing there wondering. You can just move on and do better. Any questions? Any questions? Questions or comments? I'm trying to think if I have anything else. Excuse me. Anything else to add to that? Is this making sense, guys? Everyone have their homework. All right. For the men, please take your mom out on a date. Promise you she's going to love you way more for it. She's going to brag about you to all of your other siblings. You're going to be the one in the good light. And so when you go out with a woman and you date, you can, in order to impress her, you can pick 3 restaurants, take screenshots of them, and then you send them to her and tell her to pick which one that she wants to go to. Okay? I'm a roses girl. I like roses on my dates, but don't assume, because some women, they don't like flowers or might be allergic to it. So if that's something you want to do, ask, because you never know the allergic reaction to that, But now you're wired a little bit differently. We've lifted you from the scumville of have sex with me for a sandwich to kingship, okay? The ability to get to know a person as you sit across from them instead of calculating, what are we doing after this? There's a thirst in the eye of a man when that's going on in his head. He actually begins to look slimy. His face takes on, to me, when I look at him, his face begins to take on a very oily, greasy look. And he begins to look slimy. His smile gets slimy. His gestures become over-sexual. Well, he'll say something stupid like, well, I got something for you. Well, if you like this, then I'll, you know what I mean? It's like, just really thirsty-fied, somebody that doesn't get any. And they just start looking real Uncle Old Spice deodorant looking. Like, ugh, get me out of here. Hey, creamy caramel cookie. So don't be that. Now let's talk about those who fall for it, who fell for it. If they fell for it in the past with you, don't think you're special. Stupidity is not custom made. It's a one size fit all. That which they fell with for you, they have done with others. So they probably just go around sleeping with people for food altogether. And might be a hood booger. And hood boogers tend to sleep with men who are in and out of jail. And as we know, a lot of men who are in and out of jail sleep with other men. So while you think that you have came up on some cooch, you have actually slept with about 3 other, you've been sleeping with other inmates through her. I want you to think of a dumpster being tilted over and all the stuff that comes out of it. I want you to think of yourself inserting yourself into that over and over again and having sex. So that's exactly what you're doing when you're getting down with something like that. You're doing it with trash. All kinds of things have been in there, sir. A couple of bath and body sprays should not throw you off like that. So where you believe that it's clean. Listen to the mind frame of that one, so you can have a better experience. And I wish you all love and light. If you have any questions, please come to my live stream. I am here on Tagged. That is Tagged, Tagged. You can download the app. You'll see a green letter T, probably like the teal color. And then you can go to the search engine and put in my name, Queen2Wavy. Once you click on my profile picture, you'll see an orange button that says favorite. You can click the favorite button, and then you will come on in, and you will see me every time that I go live, and you can ask me questions and elaborate on anything that you've seen talked about in my videos from there. I look forward to seeing you again.